Hey, so finally getting around to doing the rules packet for the 2025 summer meeting in Pocatello. So here it's like 12:25 a.m. right now. I'm trying to do this just completely before I go to bed. So hopefully this doesn't take forever. If I do get too tired, I may just stop. But anyway, let's see if I can transition over here properly and get this show on the road here. Here we are. Here's the packet that dropped. We got some good names on here. Brent Regan and Michelle Hamilton and whatnot. Some of these are cool people. I talked to Harry Heath. It's always a good conversation with him. And here, there's Ashley. Oh yeah, there's Forrest. That's right. He's on the rules committee too. That's cool. And some other names. So here's an interesting. I wonder what that is. I don't see. The thing is, I have actually been clued up as far as some of these, but I don't remember what that one is. Let's see. You can see the highlighting there, right? Okay. But yeah, some of these look familiar. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Multiple delegate selection stuff going on. Interesting. Some people are wanting to change out the procedures for filling certain kinds of vacancies on the local level. Restricting remembers for dues and arrears. Ooh, might not be right. Whatever. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's see, financial transparency, acts of unaffiliation. Ooh, if that's what I think it is, and it might not be, but good goal, bad execution. If I'm rule 22 and not article. What are they? What's this with rule 22? I hope this isn't a bunch of people running their mouths about something they're severely undereducated about. And amending Article 20, that could be good, that could be bad. Delegate selection stuff again. And then some other stuff. Oh, let's see what's going on. Let's see. Alright, so 2025-15, because remember, we start the counting from where the last meeting left off. So 2025-15, and we are about 3:35 in the video here. Okay, let's see. What's this one? What is this one? Submitted by Shoshone County, Phil Hart. Okay, it has potential to be good. Oh, they're yeah, they've taken after my pattern on the what this is, why, and whatnot, but they've completely inverted the order and used different words. But it's basically, well, over there, what I've actually been doing for a couple of years now. They just changed up the format a little bit, Dorothy. No, but the proposed rule addition is to add Section 4, which establishes who is a registered lobbyist. Ooh, we're starting that fight again. Okay. Okay. Registered may hold an elected party within, or that's part of to maintain the integrity of elected positions with ensuring transparency, conflicts. Oh. They're starting a fight with a specific person. And it's true. So certain mouths have been running, as it were. I don't know if this is going to make it all the way through, and you should think real hard about what you're doing. Because of the thing that I'm doing, you should think real hard about, if you can actually get something through. You need to do the work if you think you can. I don't know about this, but okay. But I'm not on the SEC, so I don't know all the machinations and whatnot in the background. But okay, and there's a bunch of unnecessary web links in there, but okay. Article 18 shall be. Let's see, I can't count very well in Roman numerals. Article 18 shall be amended as follows: Republican, all appointed officers, and oh. Well, why are you putting all of this in the page? You're wasting paper here, Phil. Was it you, Phil? Yeah, you're wasting paper here, Phil. You should just say, amend Article 18 with the following with a new section 4 as follows, and not have to do all of this crap. But okay. Section 4: no person who is required to register as a lobbyist in accordance with certain law that's the definition that they're using, is the one that's in Idaho Code right there. I'm not gonna look it up. I have never legitimately been a green tag, so whatever. Shall hold an office, shall hold no person who is yada yada shall hold an elected position in the Idaho Republican Party. That blade is going to cut in a lot more places than you think. But okay. This includes state party, district office, regional, and county offices, including precinct. Ooh, cutting that deep into it too. That's, I don't know, but let's see if the SEC is up for this. If they're up for this, then okay. Any person who is currently as through July must resign. Mentioning specific dates like this when they're not in the style of and everyone after such and such date. No, this is making a specific rule about the next presidential cycle. Well, primary cycle rather. I don't know if that's completely kosher there, but okay. Any person who is currently registered must resign as a lobbyist, and any of them those exempt for registering a lobby in accordance with are exempt from the requirements of this rule. Anyone who is hired by the Idaho Republican Party is exempt from this. Okay, so they did a little bit of carving out of the deep cutting stuff, so I actually have no dog in this particular fight, but okay, So I'm just gonna say for 2025-15 ultimately indifferent. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Oh, I've already said what because this is mine. Obviously, now it's definitely gonna be me because I'm gonna make it to Pocatello. I've shoestringed enough things together. This is gonna happen. So which one is this? This one is about the local bylaw archive. So this is 2025-16. And let's see, well, we'll say about 12 seconds ago or so. So 9:33, that's about 9:21 in the video. And as far as that's concerned, just see also the video just a few videos ago, the one that's titled Local Bylaw Archive Rule Change 2025. Say it. And as far as my notes are concerned, hard agree with a smiley face. This like has like. I have a feeling I'm gonna need this other card that was right here, but yeah, this is the cleaning up a bit of the local bylaw archive. It kind of needs to happen, and all rules should be available for all Republicans. This is to help with that. I have a feeling I'm about to, but yeah, it's a strikes that, puts in limitations in scope. This rule is subordinate to the other articles, and this article should never conflict with those articles. There you go. Next one, I have a feeling, yep, it's going to be the same thing. It's either Ben Chaffetz or me, but it's going to be me because I am going to make it. I wasn't so sure I was going to make it, and there's a procedural question, but that's getting ironed out, as it were. So 2025-17. So that's about 11:20 in the video. 2025-17. 25. And I say hard agree with a smiley face, of course. And just for because I don't want to spend, a few videos ago I did single subject rule change 2025. Go see that video as soon as go see that video. And if you want to see me elaborate on it, it is another one of mine. But this amendment restricts the rules to one single subject at a time. I feel very strongly about this, and there's a lot of reason I have for that. But it's basically to respect the time. In fact, right here I say, the reason being is that far too many times these amendments to the rules have been stuffed and shoehorned to the point where the time of the State Central Committee is quite frankly not being respected. And then it just puts in a short sentence right here at the end of a certain part of the rules. It says all amendments to these rules must be single subject. Okay. Now, moving on to 2025-18. That's 12:53 in the video. 12:53 in the video. 2025-18 it was. Let's see. Delegate selection rule amendment. Which one was this? Oh, I think I might have had some foreknowledge on this, but that's all I'm going to say on exactly what this is, because somebody was about to start an argument with me. I'll just say that. And then, no. And then we talked about it, and I think this is going to be okay. I'll just say it, but I'll read through this and give my honest opinion on it. See the proposed rules for the delegate selection rules, because the SEC is like the only legitimate body to actually change those rules. You hear that, Jacob Clough? The State Central Committee is the only one who can choose that. Therefore, it is completely legal for them to change the delegate selection rules. You idiot. Anyway, overview. The existing Article 1 and Article 2 rules are confusing, vague, and difficult to interpret. There are questions about delegate selection procedures and uncertainty about rules compliance. This is... Oh, no, this isn't the thing I was thinking about. This is something else. Are intended to replace in their entirety. Oh. Wait a minute. I was attempting to do this in 2022. And Victor Miller poisoned the well to try, to put a kibosh on it. That's... Okay. You know what? Time is healing some things, including bad decisions by chairmen who couldn't get their crap together and we're just both sides of Hanlon's razor. They were both stupid and evil. So, rules for a delegate selection. I can talk a very long time about that. Delegate selection meeting, 30 days prior, yada yada. Looks like all of the same stuff that was in before. I imagine he's just rewording and clarifying in button in the office of blah 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 blah. Each legislative district shall 3 for 3. Each meeting shall. Okay, this looks pretty. Yeah. I think there's going to be a conflict with the coming rule, but we'll save that discussion for another time. Each meeting shall establish the precedence of the annual register. Okay, this looks fine. It's actually all that not much of a change. It's just wording the rules a bit better. That's all I'm seeing here. Either the shall give any advisory. Yeah, let's see. So this is the dues accountability being written back in. They're removing some stuff, but writing it back in because that's what you do, especially in a responsible place. And dues accountability is going nowhere, you a-holes. Every single person that wants it out, you are not Republican if you want to remove dues accountability, and 2, you are definitely not a Republican if you are trying to remove the accountability of something that important. If you're trying to make those like, well, other states don't do it that way. Well, good, go live in that other state. Plus, a lot of those other states, they're not exactly examples that we should be emulating, such as like New York and California and such. Come on. Anyway, I've screamed about that, on this channel for literally years now. But anyway, after notification. So yeah, this is just standard stuff. Any person. Okay, so we might be getting to the meat of it here now. Any person who wishes to be nominated to be a delegate or must complete and sign the DIP before being nominated. I can say that well, this is like that in the current version, right? Anyway, but we've played fast and loose with it because sometimes people don't know that they're about to be nominated to be because and whatnot, and so they fill it out really quickly while they're there at the reorg meeting. It happens. The delegate selection form shall be a standard form provided by Stern and shall include the yada 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 yada. None of that is really all that much of a departure. Nominations shall have the opportunity to do so. See, that right there, that can conflict with that oftentimes. And that's just how humans work. But if you're acting in good faith, if there is a conflict, then it wouldn't be all that much of a problem unless you're trying to maliciously sue somebody. So, whatever. It's one of those things where if you try to fix it, you'll end up breaking more stuff. Say, oh, this scroll wheel is murder. I'm gonna have to go with the arrow keys now. Let's see, is this mic any? Here we are. Oh, it's even in frame now. Cool. Each nominee, probably given 2 minutes. Okay. I have a problem with this. This should be written as an option instead of given an opportunity. Because there are some localities that are going to have a lot of delegate and alternate slots. And so 2 minutes times however many, and then plus the procedural stuff in between all of the delegate speeches, that adds up. And reorg meetings already last a while to begin with. So I don't know if that's a good idea right there. I really don't know if that's a good idea. I love you, Brent, but oh, Anyway, newly elected chair shall have no opportunity to, with the consent of the to count the ballots, report the results. This is often not necessary in in some districts and whatnot, but it's good to have that in there. Besides, that's not even being rewritten. Proxies not allowed. Well, I could make a joke there. I won't. I could make a joke about how evil and stupid some people are, but I won't. Oh, okay, so then that goes into the next rule. Okay, so so I'll say mostly agree. Some details are concerning, comma, see video. Okay, so next one is going to 2025-19, right? 5-19. And we are where in the video? 2120? 2120. Okay, delegate allocation rule allotment. Oh, okay. It is impossible to not hear certain things when you're working on the phones or working on some really mundane stuff, and when you're volunteering at the party headquarters. I'll just say it like that. So I may have been already clued up. Now, as far as anything beyond that, I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to give my honest opinion of what's happening right over here. Okay? So, but Dorothy, she doesn't do this lightly. I'll just say that. I'll say that. And this was submitted on 420 of all. You couldn't have waited until the next day, Dorothy. Jesus. Oh, it was on 420? Anyway, a proposed rule amendment for delegates of the state convention to limit. Okay. Ooh, oh, that's right. That's right. And there's a distinction to be made, because I know that this is going to come up, and not because I've actually seen anything quite just yet, but rather a certain person should take the word no when it is told to him so many times, but for some reason hasn't. So I'm willing to bet that Andrew Mickelson is going to show up in here again, and he's going to try to reduce representation to counties, for delegates, for delegate selection. And I bet he's gonna try to claim that this over here is the same thing. It's not. I'll show you why here in a moment, because they're solving a problem in a much more fair and Republican way to do that, in both small r and big R means of that, and meaning Republican as in Republican Party big R, and Republican little r as in literally how you should solve this kind of problem in a republic. That's that's what I mean. So currently 35 districts, 25 total, 44 counties are also allowed for yada yada plus proportional allocation. The proposed method would approximately 400. Approximately. Let me guess. There's going to be a little bit of ugly math, isn't there? Proportional to total delegates would be 637. There are also slight variance due to rounding. More ugliness, but you know what? Let's hear them out. Okay. So, in fact, I may have had a previous note already because I may have been asked something. I'll just say that. Each county, okay, so they're doing strike, underline, and with bolding. So they're changing. Each county shall select 3 and 3. In addition, county shall select a number of delegates. So they're doing that. A number of alternates. Okay, they might need to put in a word or two to make sure it's the same number of delegates and alternates. I know that's what they mean here, but the number of in previous the number of delegates, or maybe that might be and, but whatever. For a county shall be determined by this conflicts with this, but I'll continue. Shall be determined by dividing the number 400 by dividing the number 400. So 400. Oh yeah, and this is what the little math I wrote down here. By the total number of votes cast for Republican congressional and statewide. So 400 over statewide Republican votes for congressional districts. And they're going to multiply, and then multiplying that number by the votes cast in the Republican community in the county, and then rounding to the nearest whole number. Nearest whole number will get you in some really hairy math, floating point calculations, but what they're doing is they're just trying to scale it to the big total to the smaller total, which is how we have to do the House of Representatives now, because the math that was in the Constitution before, we would have a lot more people in the House of Representatives, you know, in DC. They capped it at what, 430 something, 530 something. We're doing the math is apparently trying to do this here now. They're gonna need to replace congressional right here with U.S. House Rep, because even though everybody knows what that means, some idiot is going to confuse this when they don't know that senators don't really like being called congressmen, and it's going to be one of those years where the 6-year rotation matches up with the for senators is matching up with the House elections. So that will need to be changed. It'll need to be changed just so that there isn't some idiot later who messes this up. And then previous general multiplying by okay, then yeah, I agree, but there's a word. So I agree. So for 2025-19, I agree, but wording changes are needed. So 2025-19. That's so far in the item. I agree, wording changes are needed. So maybe I'll have an argument later with somebody about it. I don't know. But anyway, oh, speaking of the devil, okay, so 2025-20. All right, and we are 2850 in the video, 28. 2850 in the video. So I'm gonna take a wild guess. This is reducing representation instead of making it proportional. And yes, there is a difference. A very big mathematical difference, in fact. But let's see. Amending Article 2.3a of the delegate selection rule. He's not even, they're not even saying of the state rules or the delegate selection rule. He's just saying Article 2, Section 3a. I wonder if there's an Article 2, Section 3a in the state rules, just to make it really confusing. Let's see. Can't find it right now. I'm not gonna go find whatever. Anyway, so region 10. Wait, what day was... Hold up. What day was April 28th? April 28th was a Monday. Does this man not have a family? Well, the reason why I say that comment for some people who might not be aware, but he comes from a very LDS part of the state, and I'm willing to bet that he's LDS. And to my recollection, family home evenings are always done on Monday night. But why would you skip? Why would you schedule? Why would you schedule a meeting for Monday night? Did this meeting even happen? I'm going to be making a call in the morning. Anyway. So the reason for the channel to continue to grow because our conventions continue to get larger and larger. That's true, but how you handle it is a lot of times the issue. At this time, meetings are got some reason on large to find value locations to hold them. This is also not untrue, but again, it's how you handle the situation. You don't just cut a bunch of things because you find people inconvenient. Y'all accused Dorothy Moon of that, but some of the most egregious violators of that were Tom Luna and Stephanie Mickelson herself. So you know what? Screw y'all. Anyway, this rule would change and still allow essentially the same representatives by county, but with less. Okay, this negates this. Do you not know English, Andrew? Anyway, this will allow business to be taken care of easier and allow them to focus on the very best delegates to send. Oh, so you only want the right people, not actually qualified Republicans, but you only want your own people, the right kinds of people. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. This does not diminish represent. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You're literally, you're striking the 3 and putting in a 2. Yes, it does. You're lying, Andrew. You're lying. It simply makes a group more manageable. Okay, you know what? If you cannot manage going to a convention, don't go. I'm not even trying to be rude when I say that. If it is quite literally something that you cannot handle, don't go. Somebody who can handle it will go in your place. Anyway, so striking 3 to 2, 3 to 2. In addition, 200 delegates and 200 alternates shall be apportioned to counties proportional to votes cast for the Republic. Yeah, but proportional how? Where's the math for this? Do you even math, bro? Like the other, they put in the time and were very explicit about what they mean. You're not even clueless to what you mean because I bet what happened is that you heard what other people were going to do and tried to, and to not look like a fool, you tried to put in something. I bet that's what happened. Anyway. Treated thereof or major fraction thereof in that county. See, this could be interpreted a bunch of different ways, and that's a problem when you're writing a rule. This should be voted down just for the idiocy of that. And then, let's see, below is an example of what the process would look like. Okay, let's see what's going. Oh. Is there something that was supposed to go along with that? I want to see. I kind of want to see what he was doing there. I have a feeling that a certain game was being played. Because of how they're hand waving over the latter half of the sentence right here. I have a feeling about something. But anyway, hard no. Hard no. This man is trying to destabilize. That's with the IDGOP. How does destabilizes IL? Okay, cool. So 2025-20. Hard no, this man is trying to destabilize the IDGOP, and I am going to move on. It's going to be Rule 2025-21. It's 3613 in the video. 36. Okay, so it's doing this in the dark. I'm going to say 2025-21. Alright, let's see. Oh, it's another one of Dorothy's. Voting members of the Central Committee, County Central Committee. Okay. There's no requirement that the County Central Committee elected officers must be precinct committeemen. This gives more flexibility and option when elected, and many counties are advantaged by this. Some districts too, but this is about counties right now, so we'll keep going. The proposed amendment would ensure that elected officers who have voting privileges on the state also have voting privileges on their own county central committees. Oh. Wait. Hold up. Might have to look at something here. Code 34. I want to say it's 505. Idaho Code 34505. Okay. I shall have all powers and okay, no, that's not it. It's somewhere in that chapter though. It's not the organization part, it's the county of oh, 34502. County Central Committee, the County Central Committee of each one shall consist of the precinct committeemen representing the precinct, representing the precincts within the county and the county chairman. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's a problem there. This might be illegal. Voting members shall consist of all precinct committee elected officers and others member. Yeah. I don't know if the good faith exception to contract law would cover this. But I'm going to leave that one. I'm just going to say in the react here, leaving this one to the rules. Because here's the best thing, I mean, about, when you're not a horrible person. This is a life hack. Don't be a horrible person, when you're in a leadership position, because people will more often give you the benefit of the doubt when you're not. So I'm going to give Dorothy Moon, over there rather. The display is over there, but anyway, I'm going to give Dorothy Moon here a little bit of benefit of the doubt here. Because I don't know what's going on there. I could be totally wrong with the interpretation of that law. I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do there. see what else. Amending Article 5, Section 2. One of the those out of Nez Perce County. So this is 2025-22. This is when in the 4029. Okay. Our overview of the rule change deals with the problem of voting procedures used by the county session where the vacancy in between elections for various reasons. There's been a lot of that going on as of late. The current language only requires that 3 names be submitted to them within 10 days. As written, the voting is done by selecting 3 candidates in preferential order. This is a form of ranked choice voting, and as it was in our count. Oh, she's complaining about a specific incident, is she? Spicy. Alright, well, let's see. The rules change is require 3 separate rounds. Not dropped in. In preference, the winner of each round is dropped from the next round, and so on. This round is for first choice, round is the third choice. Finalists of 3 shall be listed as first choice, second shall be kept in the secretary, and until it's done. Okay. What problem are we solving with the last sentence here? I vote for 3 candidates in preferential order. Well, whatever. Whatever. Indifferent. I'm just gonna say I'm indifferent on that one. Indifferent, comma, and the wording is weird. Alright. I'm just going to move on with that one. 2025-23. And Daniel Crawford out of the same place. Proposed rule change. Oh, let's see. Oh, where are we? 4315. 4315. This proposed rule change deals with the problem of voting procedures used by when there's a vacancy between for various. Wait, didn't I just read that? Oh, this is slightly different problem. And so that pretty much is the same. You know what? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay. So the next one is what? 2025-24. Where are we in? Let's see, 4410. Okay, and what is the next one? 2025 Daniel Crawford. From the voting procedure where legislative in for various reasons. Okay, you know what? Fine. This feels like spamming the committee. And now we heard about another case of this, so I'm kind of not cool with what's happening here. To be quite honest with you. Shouldn't be able to spam things with the same thing, spam a bunch of rule proposals dealing with the same thing. But anyway, let's see. So Where are we in the video now? 45:15. So, which one is 2025-25? Restricting membership rights for dues and arrears. So Steve Bender did a little forum shopping. That's okay. I did the same thing in 2023. And that came out okay. And I had over 80% of the FCC agreeing with me. Screw you, Victor. Get bent. Okay, but anyway, state party rules currently require membership in order to receive delegate selection. The rule also, little birdie did tell me about this one, and no, not the birdie you're expecting. People in Butte County are actually pretty cool. Anyway, this rule modified also requires the power of an assembly to restrict rights and is already yada. Of course, Steve would put it like that. Never change, Steve. There are reasons why we trust you. This amendment also clarifies the language of well, as long as this makes for better dues accountability, I would be for it, but let's see what's going on here. Article 1 is amended by insertion of a new second and news and renumbering all succeeding in the article. When membership dues of a county are arrears as wait. Uh-oh. Oh, this is that thing. I'm going to shut up about that thing. Might be fine. That's all I'm going to say. I hope that Steve and the Butte County people can pull this off. Because it would be cool if we could do this. I'll just put it that way. And then some cleaning up language about things on the back end of not paying. Past due reminder. So, yeah, eliminating past due, putting in reminder of, yeah, okay, yeah, any kind of implement shall be in arrears. Okay, spelling it out. Okay, cool. And each county, oh, we're going to have to rearrange a little bit of this if other rules also go through. But okay, okay, yeah. I agree. I hope they can pull this off. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, what's the next one? 2025-26. Where are we in the video? 48:54. 48:54. And what's going on with 2025-26? Amending Article 14 by adding a new Section 13 financial transparency requirement. Oh, is this the other spamming rule? Submitted by... Oh, I'm getting an email about something. Do I want to pay attention to it? No, I do not want to pay attention to it. Okay. Anyway, back to the video. Okay. Yeah, I may have been told about a part of this. So, what happened? And I don't know if it is going to be appreciated that I am repeating what I know about this, but you know, I think this kind of needs to be said. spamming a woman, giving her repeated messages just for the specific point of intimidation and harassment, and trying to cloak it around the a very good altruistic reasons of, say, financial accountability, some such like that. You are not being a good person when you do that. That's harassment. You're this wasn't about financial transparency. Come on, we all know what's going on here. You wanna just intimidate Dorothy Moon. You all are still upset that there's a woman in the chair seat. Come on. So they tried to spam out the packet and make it a lot longer than it is, but they just said, since they all submitted an identical one, they didn't even change like a little comma or anything in any of these. It's literally the same one that just kept happening. So they just said, okay, these guys did it this time, these guys did it another time, these guys did it yada yada, these guys did it yada yada, etc., etc., etc. And then Section 13 provides for financial transparency by requiring financial information to be distributed. Okay, yeah, okay. This has been addressed before. And we know that this is not about financial transparency when you're specifically putting in that all the information goes out to all county central committees, because you know what's going to happen when you're not even doing it to all county central committees. You're doing it just to all the SCC members. All the chairmen of all of those committees. You know what happens when you do that? Because we've tested this before. This is not a new problem. This is very well known about that. And if you cared about the financial future and the ongoing existence of the Idaho Republican Party, you would not try this. Because when we disseminate things to the entire SCC, the entire State Central Committee, within 10 minutes, it is within the hands of the Democrat Party, and about another few minutes after that, it's within any local media, any financial information that we give out. This is why we only announce these in officer reports at state level meetings or at conventions. That's the reason why we do it that way. Because, say, we have some, not even financial information, just any kind of sensitive information. This is a very big way on how leaks happen. Oh, and they're trying to claim, some linkage to Doge, even though these are coming from the very same kinds of moderate rhino kinds of Republicans, and even though Dorothy would not appreciate me using the word rhino, I mean, come on. This is from the very same faction of people who hate Elon Musk. These are the kinds of Republicans that hate Elon Musk. They want him gone. And yet, also, oh, we're doing our own Doge. No, you're not. You're trying to destroy the Republican Party. See, and the thing is that they're just putting in a bunch of junk language in here because this isn't a resolution. But whatever. Financial transparency is a cornerstone. Piracy is long champion. Transparency and biography schools. I mean, that would be true, but there's also a thing about confidentiality and sensitive information. We have never been for releasing everything that we do internally in the party, because if we do, the Democrats will gain a lot. I mean, there are horror stories from decades past about that kind of thing. So, should lead by example. Like the kind of example that Tom Luna was. You freaking hypocrites, but okay. Under is derived in part from across the annual dues. This is true. And counties that have not paid or are barred from This is also true, because that's the right thing to do. I have not received regular financial reports. That's misleading. That is misleading. Because any county, LD, or region chairman has regular updates about this very kind of thing. They're called state level meetings. Get that? That is misleading at best. See, we're not even to the actual rule yet. It's still a bunch of resolution language, which this isn't the resolution. Members who have requested financial reports have been told that region chairs may view the reports and are not permitted to. You should wonder why that is. That highlighted piece right there. You should wonder why that is. Members of the county central who have been requested financial reports from the region chairs are told they reviewed that are not permitted to share. Because guess what happens? I've already said it. Guess what happens when they do that? Because when we do, when we do certain kinds of state level meetings, there are Democrat operatives in the room. Don't play dumb. Without directions to the financial support, unable to. Well, it's kind of funny about donor questions is that a lot of those donors to the state party directly, they get information. I mean, and not only that, but just asking about those very kinds of questions directly, you would get an answer, I would imagine. I just this whole thing right here, that's dishonest. That is definitely not reflecting reality. But anyway, hereby following. So, yeah. I'm almost wondering if this was written by ChatGPT. I mean, just the way that it did that. Section 13, financial transaction. Upon adoption of this rule, oh, I think they did use an AI to write this, because why would you say that? Like, why, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words right here, why would you say that in a rule? Why? But okay. Shall immediately provide current budget, profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement, reports. Yeah, you can find out a lot from that information. You can do a lot of damage to the Idaho Republican Party with that information. So complete service of the previous 2 fiscal years. I'm not going to say it because it would mean that I know information I'm not supposed to mean, but your faction has definitely not been as forthcoming. The Rhino, the former establishment faction, are definitely not as forthcoming in previous years. You should not throw stones from a glass house, especially when that is the cheapest, most brittle kind of glass that your house is made out of. Going forward. Yeah, okay, this was written by an AI. I mean, you couldn't even bother to do it yourself. You had a computer do it. Spineless cowards. Okay, you know what? Established by the Doge program, but you didn't establish a Doge program. This is okay. So you want my reaction to this is a dishonest submission that was not, that was spammed to the state part. Well, it was spammed to harass and intimidate. There are reasons why we don't just tell the media our sensitive and private information. Also, I believe that this rule was written in bad faith via ChatGPT. Because I know that these guys wouldn't have used Grok. Just saying. These guys wouldn't have used Grok. They hate Elon Musk. But, yeah, so my full reaction to this, you know, even though it's over there, I have to look over here. This is a dishonest submission that was spammed to harass and intimidate. There are reasons why we don't just tell the media our sensitive and private information. Also, I believe that this rule was written in bad faith via ChatGPT. And I'm moving on. 2025-7, 2025-27. Where are we in the video? 101.32. 101.32. And what do we got? Okay, submitted by the Region 5. Oh, hey, Region 5. By Mark Johnson on April 30. This rule defines the terms of acts of unaffiliation as used in this article. Uh-oh. Let's see where we're going with that. I want to say the new section 3 or 4 and shift all section. Yeah, there are reasons. Okay. I am the original author of this titled article right here. And there are very practical, but also very moral reasons why I couldn't just spell everything out. And I'm guessing that I'm about to run into this. See, recognized acts of unaffiliation shall include. Yeah. Mark, what has been happening with you the last couple of years? You're doing a lot of things in which you should have thought a few seconds before doing. I mean, come on. Yeah, this is going to be a problem right here for starters. And don't get me wrong, I would love to be able to just say, hey, you're supporting a Democrat Satanist, you know, vocally on social media, therefore you're not a Republican anymore, get out. I'd love to be able to do that. But there's some problems in the way of that, as you know. Displaying for you know, non-Republican candidate in a partisan general way, that includes, yeah, this I don't think he did the work for this. And what I mean by that, in case the viewer is unfamiliar here, I don't think Mark asked around about this. I don't think he put in the footwork to get this kind of thing, get, you know, a good attitude for this kind of thing. A lot like the other proposals here, but I don't think he put in the work. I think he's going to be blindsiding people with this, and I have severe doubts that this will. In fact, that's what I'll say. I have severe doubts that this will get passed on account of what looks like a lack of footwork to promote the proposal, but also a lack of thinking about how it might be carried out. And that's what I'm going to say about that. And so yeah, I have severe, not sever, severe Severe doubts that this will get passed on account of what looks like a lack of footwork to promote the proposal, but also a lack of thinking about how it might be carried out. So what else is in this, though? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna... Okay. So the next one is 2025-28. 2025-28. And where are we at in the video right now? 105, 105.48. 105.48. Now, if I could type decently, that would be cool. And my eyelids are starting to get a little heavy if you can't tell. But let's carry on. What's 2025-28? Let's see. Party integrity enforced. Ooh, well, spicy. By the LD2. Oh yeah, Harry Heath. How you doing, Harry? So it's a good time when I see you. Uh-oh. There's all this whereas language in here. Uh-oh. Whereas the Idaho Republican Party is a private membership organization, you're not wrong there, but this isn't a resolution. Whereas some Republican who have affiliated with it have engaged in kind of substantial opposition to the express criticism, some of who, okay, you're not wrong. Whereas the Idaho Republican Party has the right to discipline its also not wrong. Therefore, it's proposed to rectify by expulsion. Okay. Scroll wheel keeps jumping around, so I'm going to have to go to the keyboard again. All right. Article 22. So this is yet another thing for clueless people to rant about. I'm not explaining that reference, but it has to do with how the reorg meeting went for Ada County last year. A lot of clueless people who were ranting about Article 20 and had no idea what it actually was. Anyway, so Article 22, Section 1, the item is a private with registered under to promote the process. That's not a rule. That is a part of a... That's just some supporting text. That's not a thing you need to make a rule about. But okay. To the members of the Idaho Republican are those voters who have affiliated with by checking. Yeah. I have made videos about this. Affiliating with the other by a tacit duty adhere to the substantive expressed party principles by the duty to adhere, or which is further prescribed by Article 13. Okay, to also have a duty. Okay, this is just the reasons why you might do something. Language like this more belongs in a resolution. We still haven't really got to a rule yet. As a president of the Idaho has the right and duty. Guess you're just declaring that still. The Idaho governing body, yeah. But that's quite... You don't need to make this rule because that's quite literally what the first thing the state rules say. It's literally Article 1, Section 1. But okay. Duty to enforce said localized authority. This needs a rewrite. This needs a rewrite because it keeps on using language that should be in a resolution. And this is literal pages of stuff from what it looks like here that could be boiled down to maybe a couple of paragraphs. I don't know if I can support something that's this long that could be so short. This is written. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to say it. This is written like a resolution and is excessively lengthy. This could be written in only a few sections, not it. This is going to have to be like this. This is excessively long. So just to write in what I have here, what my reaction to 2025-28 is, this is written like a resolution and is excessively lengthy. This could be B. This could be written in only a few sections, not the multiple pages that are in the Rules Committee packet. I cannot endorse this otherwise worthwhile effort. Yeah, this, I can't. I can't. And that really makes me sad, because they're trying to do a good thing here. They're just not being as smart as they could be about it. I mean, we're going to run into problems with that version of it. We are going to run into problems. So the next one is 2025-29, and we are at 1:13:13 in the video. Let's see what we got. Man, I'm really bummed about that last one. But anyway, 2025-29, amending Article 20, platform enforcement. Okay, so we got the same idea here. Colton Bennett, okay, cool. Latop County people are all right, you know. Yeah, you unfortunately got that whole dumb prosecutor up there. It's kind of really messing up the whole covert thing, but you know, whatever. The proposal adds adds presidential election law that may be disciplined by the. Oh, you're going after the faithless elector. Has Idaho had a faithless elector? What problem are we solving? Theoretic. Oh yeah, they even say theoretic. Well, okay, you know, brushing past if this has even happened before, but okay. Oh, this is strike underline, but they're like listing out the entire article, but some of this is just not necessary. And so you're just putting in little parts that need to be inserted to. Okay, for the purposes of like shall be considered like and 90 days of the cast. Okay. Okay, electoral pledge, and okay. Written poorly. Written. Yeah, this one's okay. You need to find like there's like no reasons to be putting in sections 1 and 2 to begin with, and see section 3, and then yeah, they're doing the strike underline thing, but it's in between A and B, and so did you mean for this to be in? See, there's formatting problems here, and then there's not anything that needs to happen with sections 4 and 5, or 6, or 7. But it's otherwise okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move on with that. Come on, Colton, you know better. You know better. Let's see, what's the next? 2025-30. And where are we in 11649? And what do we got? This video is turning out to be a lot longer than I was thinking. But let's see, 2025-3, amending Article 6 of the delegate selection stuff. This has to do with national convention stuff. Proposal seeks to address an inconsistency that exists in between this and dealing with President. The article, this Article 5 section states that all delegates are bound on the results of the caucus, while the section not only is bound on the first ballot. Okay, what's your point, though? The consequence of the inconsistency it could lead to. Oh, they might be trying to break RNC rules. Okay. So what are they actually writing in here? The delegates and alternates shall be obliged on the first ballot taken to whom they were pledged based on the results of them as described and provided. Okay, that's it. I did not know I was gonna need to look up the RNC rules tonight, or I guess this morning. RN rules now. Rules of the Republican Party. Yep. Okay. Is this showing up on? Okay. Yeah, this is showing up. Let's see. There's a vacancy. Meetings of the RNC. Convening of the next convention call. Participation in delegate election selection allocation and binding process. Page 14. Okay. Council's office. See, this is the thing that we ran into with the winter packet. Shall prepare instructive material on binding methods and make it available for, or oh, well, I guess that's technically happened since the rules are available online. Participation in Republican for selecting and allocating binding delegates or alternate to a county district or even national convention shall in no way be abridged for reasons of yada yada. The National Committee and each shall take a positive action to achieve the broadest possible participation by. Okay, technically doesn't break it, so we'll continue. Citizen, unless others provide the states where delegates or alternates are selected through the conventions or combined all citizens who are okay, hold up. Elected through a convention system or a combination of convention and primary system. So this does not mean caucus. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I have to back up and make sure I understand this right. Otherwise provided by the laws of the state in which the election occurs. And I don't think there's much to be considering like that in any ways. It's kind of the reason why we could just come up with a caucus. That whole drama. In those states where delegates and alternates are elected through convention or a combination of... Oh, okay, they are elected through a convention system. Okay, cool. Okay. All citizens or opponents shall be urged to participate. Okay. Well, as much as practical. Only persons eligible to vote are deemed as a matter of plugging to be or okay. Let's see, where's the binding part? No state law shall be observed that permits any person to participate in an alternate election. Also permits the same primary to participate in the choosing of nominees for the other party. Oh, okay. They're not inconsistent with for electing delegates and alternate for binding of president shall use every means to guarantee the right of active duty amendment and for due to injury suffered. This rule is not intended to and shall not prevent a state from using caucus or designate them. Okay. Each state shall endeavor to have a representation of men and women. Okay, you know, actually, we probably needed this part anyway. Binding and allocate. Any state one permits a choice of candidates. Primary costs shall be used to allocate this for either proportional or winner take all for at least one round. Now, what did he say here? You know what? I'm just going to say it like this. Be sure that this complies with RNC Rules. Let's see, what was it? 15 and 16? 15 and 16. That's all I'm going to put in there. As far as my reaction to 2025-30 is going to be sure that this complies with RNC Rules 15 and 16. That's all I am. Otherwise, my eyes are just going to gloss over anyway. It's going to be a while before I'm going to a national convention. Anyway. 2025-31. Okay, so 2025-31. Good old friend Paul Ross. Let's see what he did. Paul Ross varies legally needed to do various changes over time, whereas only the state committeemen and others also provides for masking to include the. Was he doing that thing that he did before? He better not be, because there were reasons why that failed. And beware of men who have to be told no multiple times. Therefore, they resolve. Okay, you wrote this in AI, didn't you? I think you wrote this in AI, Paul Ross. I think that's what you did. So, okay, so this is the gendered language thing again. Let's see what else you got. You got hiding in here. And officers. Okay, why? Okay. By the process in Section 8. You shall appoint by a Republican on all precinct committee men. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Wait, you said nothing about striking vacancy. See, this is why This is why we're doing the single subject amendment. So see also, again, in this video, single subject rule change 2025. It's crap like this because you're cramming in different things into a single, and not only that, but in your explanation language up here, you're pretending that it's all the same subject when we look down, it's definitely not. You are being dishonest. And then we're going into other stuff. Hard no. Hard no. And beware of any men who have to be told no more than once. And that's my honest reaction to it. 2025-31, I didn't even get a time step for it. (2025-31) blah blah, timestamp that I didn't get. Hard no. I'm moving on before I get really angry about this. Okay, 2025-32. And let's see, where are we in the video? 127.08. 127.08. Okay, now. Proposed statement, sorry, to Article 4 and Article 7. Okay, you better not be doing different subjects again. For breaking ties in a reorganization. It was your friends that struck down my attempt to fix this. And you're also trying something that you tried before and didn't because you got told no. This shall be timed by a coin toss. No, okay, see, you don't want to prescribe a certain procedure for breaking ties, and if you do, at least leave something open, just in case, like, say, a coin toss is impractical, or they really, really want to do something else, like a low-card draw or something. I don't know. You know that they play blackjack to resolve ties in local primary races in Nevada? Did you know that? Anyway, well, at least he did the responsible thing, except he also left Section 2 in here, but, he's at least skipping ahead. Oh, and this part isn't even about corn. Okay. Hard no. Beware of any that have to be told no more than once. And description language does not fit all proposed language. So he's basically lying. So for this one, it's also hard no, comma, beware of any men who have to be told no more than once, comma, and description language does not fit all proposed language. And also, it's kind of disgusting that that we have to require a specific procedure in that a coin toss. I know it's literally only 2 words. It's still procedure description, prescription though. No, hard no. Oh, we're at the end. Woo. Okay. So, all the notes that I was just well, it's over here on my other monitor, but everything else is over here, and so it just looks weird. But I'm going to be posting all of that just as I pass out on the bed here, just right behind me. And then this video will probably drop after I wake up, maybe. It might be that I can just sort of get away with uploading it and then just leaving the window open all night. I don't know. This does not bode well for the resolutions packet, though, for multiple reasons. If it took me an hour and a half to get through just this packet, what does that say about the resolutions? And also, I just hope that I don't pass out in the middle of the next one. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Blessings.